Hey everybody, Madeline here to talk about this week's astrology, and we are going to feel quite a lot of shifts happening in the energies this week. First of all, we have all the planets in direct motion right now. Venus just went in direct on the weekend, and Mercury is going to move out of its debilitated state, and so is Mars. We've got Mars and Mercury have been in debilitation for quite a bit, Mars for a long time. We're going to feel a big difference when they shift out of debilitation and into the active energies of Leo and Aries. Let me show the chart. So here we are today with all the planets in direct motion and Mercury at the last degree point, which we call the Gandanta points, which is sort of an emotional climax point. It's the last degree of the zodiac cycle. It's the resolving and tying up old karmic baggages, knots. Now, Mercury's been in retrograde, so we've been doing a lot of reflecting. So has Venus been in retrograde, so we've been reflecting on these issues or topics, some sort of important emotional issue that needs resolving before we go forward, and sort of some sort of spiritual clarity or spiritual growth around this. And then we are now, then when Mercury goes into Aries on Wednesday, we feel this renewed excitement, clarity of action, ready to start something over. It's the beginning of the zodiac cycle, and it's being tried by Mars, by the way, which I'll mention, which we'll go more into in a minute. But as soon as Mercury goes into that Aries energy, we're going to, because Mercury's ineffective in Pisces. We're not really gaining any of the, shall we say, benefits that Mercury brings us as strong or as clear. It's not as strong as effective when it's in Pisces in our lives. It doesn't do its job as much. And the same with Mars. When Mars is in debilitation and Cancer, Mars really is, these are close planets that create quite a lot of bit of impact in our lives and influence. And when they're in debilitation, they have less influence in our life. So now when Mars moves into the sign of Leo, again, we're going to feel a big shift from a debilitated Mars into a very active, proactive, fired up, bold Mars. And it's going to be trining Mercury too, which means there's a relationship between the two of them as they both move out of this sort of ineffective state into an effective state where they have clarity of action. Mars backing Mercury's decision in Leo. When Mars goes into Leo here, there we go. We get this beautiful trine between Mercury and Mars, where Mars is reinvigorated to take bold action. Mercury has the clarity of decision of what that is. So it's very in a line. It's taking clear of action from a non-active place, like two horses coming out of the gate, like charge with clarity, bold, and and a big shift in our energy field because it's been in the sleepy inactive state. It's kind of like coming out of hibernation type of an energy. Now, there is something to be cautious about because the day that we do have the sun is going to move into Taurus on the weekend and it's going to make a grand T square. The moon is going to join in on that. That's going to be intense. And for some people, this could be really if you have planets at the early degree points of the fixed signs, you're going to feel this. It is an accident or crisis potential happening. So if it's already Leo has already made this transit already this year, so you can go back and see it was around end of December, early January. So this is sort of a repeat, but this time Mars is in direct motion, so it's slightly less challenging, I would say. But this is a challenging transit to watch out for. But otherwise, we have in this week we have this beautiful kite happening too, which often these squares can bring a shut door, like. We really are going forward. We can't go back. I almost feel like if we go back, the doors are going to be shut. We have to take forward motion. And it's almost, and this kite hitting the nose, it's really amazing because this is creating the, shall we say, the ease and a flow with some of the shifts and changes. that are happening. So, in other words, there's doors opening up. There's universal support. We're going to feel like the universe is behind us, helping us forward into our new destiny as we leave things behind and we leave some of our emotional baggage behind that we've healed now, that we've really resolved in these retrogradation periods. And that's been a long time. Mars was in retrograde, Mars was in Cancer. Well, so Mars not being in retrograde, but Mars was in retrograde in Cancer for a long time. But even just being Mars in Cancer is a vulnerable, inactive, sleepy, shall we say, energy. So we're going to feel the shift from this watery energy into this go energy, into this feeling, having clarity of what we want to do. And also with Venus, Venus is in exaltation in the sign of Pisces. So Venus is having a very strong impact and a strong influence on what's happening right now. And it's part of this beautiful trine because Venus, Saturn, and the North Node are all in on this trine. So we're heading towards our new destiny in a very strong way with bold action this week. Big decisions with Mercury in that 0 degree point of like 0 degree Aries is the beginning of the zodiac cycle. It is the most fired up energy of the entire energetic wheel of the zodiac sign. So we're taking bold, inspired new initiations, beginnings. Um, and then we've got this trine, this assistance, this aid of the universe, helping us let go of the past, leave the past behind us, and move forward with ease and grace through the open doors that our new destiny is sort of unfolding beneath us. And we feel this assistance. So this is a wonderful week for big shifts and changes. And if anybody's having any negative, or shall we say, squares impacted by this Pluto, Mars, that is the one thing to really watch out for and not, shall we say, let that get the better of anybody this week. All right, I hope that was helpful and clear. Namaste.